There is a conspiracy of a global scale, yes. Evil actors are in high places, yes. Dark occultism is a major part of it, yes. But the investigations into this are often driven by emotional agitation rather than rationality. They are conducted by those who are angry about the deceit to which they have been subjected and who then, in blind, rage-driven paranoia, see everything as malevolent and fraudulent without doing the necessary reasoning. This leads to convictions like these. A shot in the head is positive advertising for a brain implant?
Well,
Pause and think about that. This makes no logical sense. Such interpretations are the result of anger and confused distrust, not rationality. Cooler heads prevail. Predictive programming is about psychological desensitization and emotional acceptance of an event that might otherwise be shocking or difficult to accept. It is not about causing maximum psychological shock and emotional traumatization. Being vigilant is essential in a world of deception, but being suspicious without good reason is hypervigilance, is paranoia, creates confusion, and benefits the enemy, who is all about creating imbalances. The concept that everything and everyone is part of the dark side is psychological warfare perpetrated by them. They want to put people in a state of irrational emotional agitation, keep them trapped in the lower brain, in the R-complex reptilian brain, which is responsible for instinctive reactions, and in the amygdala, the area of the brain responsible for emotional processing, especially fear and anxiety. They want to cut people off from the neocortex, the part of the brain responsible for higher cognitive functions and logical reasoning. This makes them easier to manipulate. They want to put people in a state of depression and defeatism where they feel their situation is hopeless. They believe that the dark ones rule everything and that everyone is part of them. And resistance is hopeless, which is not true. There is a spiritual battle between positive and negative forces. The positive forces are more subtle and are also constantly attacked in perception by the Darksiders, so that the perception of them is distorted and they appear as absent, weak, or simply negative. This is why the Darksiders constantly project their own characteristics onto the positive forces, to neutralize them perceptually. This is Reptilian Mind Control 101, but just because it's basic doesn't mean it's not effective. It's extremely effective and works very well with far too many. After all, they've been refining it for thousands of years. Devil's hands. The only picture in which Trump makes this gesture shows him next to Jesse James, a reality TV show rocker douchebag character. This is a mainstream situational context without any occult relevance. After all, the hand gesture is primarily associated with rock and heavy metal music, but showing it in a casual moment next to a figure connected to the rock subculture is a harmless and plausible event. Aside from this one incident, we never see Trump make this gesture, yet the doubters and accusers present this as hard evidence to smear Trump. No one-eye gesture. There is no picture of Trump making a clear and staged one-eye gesture, which is the main occult sign of dark side affiliation, to show their allegiance to the Luciferian cult. The glasses are not 666. This picture is not an Illuminati gesture either, but shows Trump making fun of Mitt Romney wearing glasses. He said that the glasses don't make him smarter. This shows once again how superficially suspicious Dilettants investigate the occult. They don't do any research at all. They go by superficial appearances alone, without investing a single thought. The OK sign. The human hand existed before any occult attributions were made to it. The devil has no exclusive legal claim to human physiology and gestures. The so-called OK sign is a natural manifestation of human body language. It is formed quite naturally when something is emphasized. There is nothing sinister about it. To interpret a natural expression of human body language as dark occult, completely independent of the circumstances of a situation, is conspiracy paranoia. It's not reasonable, it's not sane, it's paranoid or malicious. There are only a limited number of combinations that a hand can make. Some positions are self-evident, and one is not always aware of what the fingers are doing. There are only a limited number of hand signs a speaker can use due to factors such as the physical limitations of human hands, the need for clear communication, cultural familiarity, and the practical demands of public speaking. Occult signs. For a hand movement to have an indisputable occult intention, it must take place under very specific conditions. Occult signs are precise. A mere resemblance to an occult sign is not identical to an occult sign. The 666 gesture, as shown by reptile hosts in Hollywood, for example, is shown with precision, in context, and in stage positions. Precision, the pointer and the thumb form a round circle, and the three other fingers are spread wide without overlapping each other. This creates a clear 666. Angle for the 666 to appear exactly as such. The person showing it must position their arm and hand at a certain angle and height in relation to the audience or the camera. Context: the 666 gesture is often made over an eye, with the eye lying in a circle, or the person sticks their tongue out wide, or during a performance on stage with the house-sized, all-seeing eye behind the performer, or when posing for the cover of a magazine or movie poster. Trump's OK signs. Trump's OK signs lack precision, angle, and context. Their purpose is to show accentuation, and they do not rely on the fulfillment of conditions to do so. Either the circle is missing, the fingers are overlapped, or the angle is wrong, and he never does it in a supportive context. Sometimes his hand appears to be 666, but when it does, it happens naturally from a natural angle that results from organic body movements. The point is that he makes no recognizable conscious effort to represent an occult sign with intent or precision. The OK sign makes up only a very small percentage of Trump's hand gestures. He uses a variety of gestures, all of which emphasize what he is saying in a natural, contextual way, just as he uses the OK sign. On the left, we see examples of clear occult 666 signs. On the right, we see natural human hand signs. Burden of proof. No evidence of intent theories rely on speculation and lack concrete evidence. If someone claims that a speaker is using the OK sign to signal 666, the burden of proof is on the claimant to provide evidence of the speaker's intent. Without clear evidence, such as statements from the speaker themselves indicating this intention, the claim is unsubstantiated. Just because a gesture can be interpreted in multiple ways doesn't mean it is intended to convey all those meanings. Just because the gesture could be loosely associated with 666 does not mean the speaker intends it as such. Given that the OK sign is a globally known sign of accentuation, there needs to be substantial reasoning to prove that it is meant to display something else than that. Confirmation bias: people often see what they want to see. If someone is convinced that a speaker is signaling 666, they might interpret any hand gesture as evidence of this, regardless of the speaker's actual intent. Cognitive bias lead to flawed interpretation, misinterpretation, and misappropriation. Just because some groups or individuals have tried to repurpose the OK sign for other meanings doesn't change its original widely accepted meaning. The misuse of the symbol by a minority does not alter its overall significance. What exactly should a speaker do with his hands instead? The suspicious are quick to denounce something, but usually offer no viable alternatives. Not move them at all and place them on the podium in front of him? That would make him look expressionless, lifeless, and robotic. To form fists with them? That would make him appear brutish, martial, and despotic. Erase his finger? That would make him appear judgmental and lecturing, and nowadays this is also increasingly known as a gesture of aggressive Islamic expansion. Give a thumbs up? Once or twice is fine, but all the time. That would make him look crazy. Make a flat hand? Like a karate fighter trying to break something in half. That's an aggressive hand gesture that should only be used in moderation. Making the OK sign with index finger and thumb, but the three fingers closed? That's the pinch gesture. Not exactly the best message. It would also look weird, like his hand is cramping or something. Accentuate with a finger other than the index finger, ring finger or middle finger. Then it would be like symbolizing a goat or a wolf, both animals that are highly suspected in symbolism, the Baphomet goat and the ravenous wolf. Even normal people are not particularly keen on wolves, as they hunt farm animals and pose a perceived and sometimes even real danger to children. Accentuate with thumb and little finger. That would look strange, arouse suspicion, and look like his hand was injured or crippled, as if he had arthritis. No leader can afford to look sick and weak. Emphasize in a different way. Roll the index finger under the thumb, for example. That too would be confusing or unsettling because it would make his hand appear injured or crippled. So what is left? The Vulcan salute. Star Trek enthusiasts would appreciate it. To everyone else, it would look like a crab, or a literal crab person in the eyes of the conspiracy paranoid. Summary. Trump's body language is natural and normal for a public speaker. There is no evidence that he goes out of his way to display any kind of dark occult symbols. Aside from the fact that he once posed with a reality TV rocker, there are also no pictures of him making devil horns. There is no picture of Trump making a clear one-eye gesture, which is the primary symbol of dark occultist affiliation. The Illuminati, the Luciferians, the Brotherhood of the Snake, the Babylonian Brotherhood, the elite, and so on have some distinctive symbols, some of which are expressed in gestures they make to signify their affiliation with said cults. However, the surest way to know who is to judge their actions. And Trump's actions are in direct opposition to the interests of the dark cults. For deeper insights into this topic, see the videos.